Hey eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and in this video I am going to bust the myth that you need to be doing social media marketing to increase your eBay sales. So let me start off with my mission for this video. I take my role as an influencer in the eBay community very seriously because I know it can change lives. And I genuinely want people to have the correct information so that they can be successful and spend their time doing the right things. So the issue with social media has become hype, half-truths, assumptions, and flat-out lies regarding how to use it for eBay selling. So the purpose of this video is to provide fact-based information that sellers can use to determine if using social media is appropriate for their individual business. So I started this off by putting a poll on my Facebook group, which has right at 35,000 people in it. And this poll only ran for a couple of days, and there were 542 responses. So the question was, do you use social media to promote your eBay items? I'm working on a YouTube video. We're specifically talking about eBay, not any other platform. So there were 542 responses. 441 people said no, they do not. 101 said yes, they do. So 81% of the respondents do not promote their items on social media. So I have the link to this poll below the video if you want to go look at it and read all the comments. But what was interesting to me was the people who said, no, I don't do it. Several of them I have done interviews with, so you can check out my playlist on interviews with successful sellers, or they're frequent posters on Money Making Mondays. They consistently sell high dollar items. They're earning a living doing this. So it wasn't just how many people said no, they don't do it, but who those people are and their track record on eBay. So let me start off by saying, what is my definition of a successful seller? Because this is going to vary from person to person. But the way I look at it, after having been in this community since 2003, a seller who has built a sustainable eBay business they love working on over at least a year, producing profit that suits their financial needs and desires. Success is not based on gross sales, how much inventory a person has, number of items sold per day or month, but consistent income over time, running a business that brings great personal satisfaction. So success to me has a lot more to do with how this business works with your life and improves your quality of life. Now, I know there's many others out there who define success by how many dollars you're making, your sales numbers, which are really irrelevant here because sales does not mean profit. So you could have $1 million in sales, but you're only making 10,000 in profit. And that fact is just not put out there enough. So my definition of success may not be yours, but that's what this study is based on. So if we look back at how social media evolved, we can go back to about 2006 when Twitter started. And that's kind of when everybody started jumping on the bandwagon to promote their listings. But as social media evolved over the years, the e-commerce sector tried to figure out ways to incorporate selling into these platforms. They were never developed for selling. It was social media. I remember I did Flickr. That was a photo sharing site. And then, of course, Facebook came along in 2008. And that was all about friends and family and, connecting with people that you lost touch with over time. So each of these platforms had a very specific reason. None of it was for selling items. Now, here are the reasons why using social media is not necessary for most eBay sellers. And if you don't get anything out of this video, the number one reason I'm going to start with is social media effectiveness cannot be measured. Measuring advertising effectiveness is difficult in the physical world and nearly impossible online. It is impossible to say if someone went to McDonald's and bought a meal because they saw a picture of it on a billboard, heard it on a radio commercial, or if it was just the most convenient place to stop. You can't prove any of that advertising is working. To measure effectiveness of social media marketing, you need to look at incoming links to prove it is working, meaning you put something up on your Facebook page and somebody clicks it and goes and looks at your listing. We have no way to see that. eBay does not provide any reports or data that show incoming links to our listings. They used to provide these reports by Omniture, but discontinued them many years ago. Even then, a cause and effect relationship between clicks and purchases could not be validated. All you saw was what brought somebody to your listing, what they clicked on to get there. And you would see it came from Pinterest. That's right before these reports were taken away, about 2013, I think. So all you could see was that people were coming in on that link. You couldn't see if the person actually bought the item. So you could definitely assume that because you posted a bunch of items on social media and then had some sales that same day, there could be a cause and effect relationship. But we don't have a tool to measure this. There is absolutely no way to confirm that is what's happening. I asked several sellers on that poll in the comments who said yes, they use social media, how they measure its effectiveness with hard evidence, and nobody had an answer. They are only making assumptions. I'm just saying that, why would you do something that you can't measure the results of? It's like going on a diet and not weighing or measuring yourself. It's like, how do you know it's working? You have to be able to see what's going on in the background to know if this is working. So the only accurate way to find out if your social media marketing is working is to ask each and every buyer how they found your listing and then compile the results over time. And even then, they may not know, because the fact put out by advertising authorities says that a buyer has to see something 13 times before they take action. So they could have seen that same sweater that you're selling that they bought. They could have seen it on an ad on Facebook. They could have seen it on a YouTube ad. They could have seen it, their friend wearing it. They could have seen it in a store window and then finally decided to buy it. And you're the last person in line and they clicked on your listing and bought it. So you really can't measure advertising effectiveness at all. And it's even impossible on the internet. Number 2 is a large established audience is necessary to make social media work for you. So if you decide to promote your items on social media, who are you going to advertise to? Do you have a large established audience that's going to see your posts? If not, you're going to have to build one. And that takes a lot of time away from your eBay business that could be spent doing real tangible things that you're going to make money. So this is a side note, but did you know that influencers, or anybody really, can buy followers and subscribers to make their audience look more impressive. The faulty thinking out there is that a large audience attracts more audience members. When you see an influencer appear out of nowhere and amass a huge audience very quickly, they're probably buying their audience. So, not everything is as it seems on the internet. And I know for a fact, at this point in time, I have about 53,000 YouTube subscribers. They're all organic. I have never done this, but you don't know some of these people that have huge numbers. You don't know if their audience is even real. And how do I know this? You can Google it and find out. Go Google how to buy followers, and you'll see all these videos and articles and blog posts and everything about how to do it, how to build your audience with fake followers, or of the case of YouTube, how to buy subscribers. And there's all kinds of stuff out there about how you can do this. So it's a real thing, and the average Joe on the street does not even know this happens. But how do you know that influencer's audience is even real? But the bottom line is, I don't care what other people are doing. Don't feel bad if you don't have a large audience, because whoever you are comparing yourself to may not even have real followers or subscribers. Organic growth is always best, because those are real people who might actually buy something. If you've got 20,000 fake subscribers or bots on your social media accounts, they're never going to buy anything because they're not real. So what's the point of even doing that other than to look impressive and try to gain more subscribers because you have a big number on the screen there for your audience? So fake subscribers, followers, bots can never be monetized, and you aren't actually reaching real people. So this is very important if you're trying to sell something, because you don't ever want to buy fake followers, because you can't sell anything to them. They're never going to respond to anything. They're not real. It's all an illusion. Okay, and the third tip is people are already inundated with ads. Why are they going to respond to yours? If we look at this article from Forbes back in 2017, it's titled Finding Brand Success in the Digital World: Challenges for a Modern Brand. Digital marketing experts estimate that most Americans are exposed to around 4,000 to 10,000 ads every day. At some point, we start a screening process for what we engage with and start ignoring brands and advertising messages unless it's something that we have a personal interest in. Of the brands that you have interacted with today, which one did the best job of marketing to your needs or interests? Did they have a clear message? How did they connect with you? So it's more than just sticking stuff out there on Facebook. First of all, who's going to see it? And are you just going to get lost in the giant sea of advertising? Unless you are Oprah, Martha Stewart, or Shaq, more than likely your marketing will be lost in the sea of ads and just ignored or scrolled by. So not only can you not measure what you're doing, but most people aren't going to pay attention to it anyway. So why do it? Okay, the fourth tip that a lot of people in that survey mentioned was you may lose the real friends you have. Think about this. How many times have you unfriended someone who started an MLM, started spamming you to buy their product? Plexus, Rodan and Fields, Avon, Mary Kay, all of those. People will unfriend, unfollow, or block you if you become annoying and spammy. People will get sick of seeing your ads all the time. The advertising rule of thumb online is 80% good quality, helpful content, 20% selling. But people who are new to this, they're doing like 100% selling, and it's a huge turnoff. So if you want to use social media for selling, you need to also provide 4 times the amount of quality content to offset that advertising for your listings. And by the way, speaking of this, MLMs, those are those direct sales companies, Did you know that industry has developed a social marketing plan for their reps? They follow a protocol of something like 3 posts a day, spaced 8 hours apart, a before and after picture of, whatever the product's going to do for you, a recipe or a health tip or something along the lines of the industry that that product is coming from. So if it's a diet plan, they're going to give you health tips. If it's a cosmetic item, they're going to give you skincare tips and a link to a news article. So when you see your friends start doing this marketing, they didn't think of it. The company that they sell for requires it, and their downline manager is checking on them to make sure they're doing this. Do you really want to be mixed in with all of that crap? I don't. I have unfriended several people over the years because they started doing this, and that's all their page became was before and after on this diet plan. Here's the recipe you should cook. Private message me for more information, all that kind of stuff. Or they just spam you with messages. And I don't want to be mixed in with those kind of people that do that kind of marketing because it gives everybody a bad name on social media. And that's what's happening is even these MLM companies have figured out how to leverage social media and get all of their reps to start spamming their friends. And it's just a huge turnoff. And I don't want to be mixed in with that. Okay, the fifth thing is eBay sellers did just fine before social media started. eBay started in 96. Twitter started in 2006. Facebook started in 2008. Pinterest and Instagram started in 2010. So we had a solid 10 years of online selling before any social media started. You do not need it to sell your items. Okay, the sixth tip is your eBay fees already pay for marketing. eBay is usually in the top 3 on Google on most products searched, or at least on the first page of Google and in Google Images. So you can check this out. Go Google some of your items with just 4 or 5 keywords and see what comes up. Your item may not be at the top, but you can see that this is a system that's already in place. It's already working. And this is another reason I wish we had incoming traffic reports because we could see, did somebody find me on Google? That would be interesting to know, but we can't see that. But this is why SEO, search engine optimization, is so important so that your listings will show up organically on Google and other search engines. Organically just means it just happens spontaneously, automatically. You don't have to do anything extra. The system is in place for this to happen. And this is part of what we pay our fees for, so that our listings are put out on these search engines. Now, if you don't know what SEO is or you're confused, what do you mean? What should I be doing with my listings? I have a video, 38 ways to increase sales. I'll put that below the video so you can go check that out. But it's all the things that eBay has said that we need to do to get our listings to rank higher, filling in all the item specifics, having those good keywords in the title, all of that kind of stuff. So the system is in place. Learn to work within the existing system rather than going outside of that and starting something from scratch, like building an audience on Facebook. You don't need to do that. Just work as well as you can within the existing system and it'll work out. Trust the process. Okay, the seventh tip is that eBay is a household word and part of our culture. People know to go to eBay to shop and buy stuff. You don't need to tell them. eBay ads are on TV, all over the internet, on social media. They're everywhere. So you are in good company with millions of other sellers and a recognized brand. So you don't need to put on your Facebook personal page, hey, I just listed this pair of shoes, come buy them. People don't need to see that. They already know to go to eBay. And if you go back to number 6 and your listings are optimized correctly, they're going to be found by people looking for your stuff. So you don't need to bother your friends with, hey, buy my stuff, hey, go like my Facebook business page, is all about everything I'm selling. People are sick of being sold to, and they don't want that. Okay, also, the eighth tip is that social media marketing takes time. It takes time out of your day, and that's time that could be spent prepping items, photographing them, listing them, sourcing, doing actual tasks that move your business forward. And again, you're doing something, if you're doing the social media stuff, that there's no way to measure its success. Nobody can prove this works. So until social media marketing can be unequivocally measured and proven effective, I do not think it is worth the time and effort to do it. So just think about this. Do you want to throw more of your valuable time down a black hole? Time is everyone's most valuable resource. Don't waste it. If you're spending an hour a day on social media, posting stuff, trying to get a business page built on Facebook, whatever it is, think about that. That's 7 hours a week. You could put that into your eBay business or something that is income generating, because this is advertising. There's no way to prove how it works, and it all takes time to do. So just to recap these 8 tips that you should consider if you want to try marketing your items on social media. You cannot measure its effectiveness. That's the biggest one. You need a large organic audience of real people that will actually go look at your listings and possibly buy them. People are already getting too much advertising already. Everywhere you go, whether you're sitting in your car, looking at billboards, listening to the radio, you're on the internet, you're watching TV, it's everywhere. You may lose real friends because they think it's annoying. Number 5, eBay worked just fine for 10 years without. And go back to that survey and look at the people who said no, they don't use it. They sell a lot of items, and a lot of high dollar items. So it works without it. You're already paying eBay fees for marketing, so you don't need to do anything extra. eBay is an established brand. It's out there. People know about it. They know to go on eBay and shop. And it takes up your valuable time. So, my answer when people ask, what should I be doing on social media? My answer is nothing. Focus on your eBay business and doing what you can control and moving forward, doing income generating tasks on your business. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing and what people are telling you should be doing with social media, and getting all confused and falling down the rabbit hole of what do I do on Pinterest, and what do I do on Facebook? Do I need a business page? How do I do Instagram? All that kind of stuff. It's just a bunch of noise. You don't need to do it if your objective is to sell more items on your eBay store. And I think it's all hype. Remember at one point in history, people thought the earth was flat and they believed it just because everyone was saying it. So I tend to go against the grain on all of this hype information out there on the internet, because I genuinely do care that people get the correct information and that you're not wasting time doing things that aren't productive. So on this video, I would really love your comments. And if you've thought about any of this, or if you're just concerned about social media because somebody somewhere told you that you should be doing it, because that is absolutely not the case. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.